Hello, my extremely interested in truth friends. This is Roger, your extremely interested in truth host for the next few minutes. Now, what are we going to talk about today? My very extremely good friend Tyson sent me this today, Nebraska, and this is about the agate fossil beds in the Nebraska stories. Well, they are stories that we're not necessarily going to buy at the moment. Now, I just went out to here, and they're going to be talking about exploring the Black Hills. So, here it goes.
Was there meeting with the Oglala and other Sioux tribal chiefs and elders.
In 1874, as the Black Hills Gold Rush was underway, paleontologists were combing the Great Plains, searching for fossils during what is called the Great Dinosaur Rush.
This is the same time that European Americans are finding gold in the Black Hills, and so the Indians are not particularly disposed to let Marsh and his party pass. In the midst of those discussions, James Cook was called on because it was suggested that he knew enough Lakota that he could interpret, and so he was able to prevail on Red Cloud and the other assembled Indian elders that O.C. Marsh wasn't interested in gold, that in fact he was hunting for fossils.
Cook's skillful mediation of the dispute left a lasting impression on the Oglala chief. It also gave Cook his first glimpse of the emerging science. These two things would later play important roles in his life. James Cook went on to take a job at a ranch south of Harrison, and then fell in love and married the rancher's daughter.
James and Kate were out riding and they spied some glittering material on the ground. They thought they were just pony bones or something like that, maybe associated with an American Indian burial.
The bones the young couple discovered would turn out to be some of the first Miocene mammal fossils discovered in America. But it would also be 20 more years before the world would know about them.
In 1904, a paleontologist who had been working north of here in northern Sioux County, James Cook, prevailed on him to come up here to the Bone Hills and see the fossils, and the story runs that the paleontologist raced all the way back to the ranch house, told his assistants, put the horses and the wagons in the barn, we're staying for a few days.
All right, now, it's going to start to get interesting here. And I am going to point out the geological features that are from my research. And my research is pretty well certified right now, as far as I'm concerned. If anybody can go against it and speak to the physical specimens and the DNA reports and so forth, then I'm 100% ready to do that. And I have my specimens right here, and they're giant human beings. And you're going to see this is just nothing more than giant creature specimen. This is a giant human fingertip. It's a giant human fingertip. It's DNA certified. It's been CAT scanned. It's the whole 9 yards. And I have the rest of the body and the hand and the feet and everything else. And I have other ones here. There's another one that was DNA certified. That's a human lung. That's the size of us. They were found in the same locale, right next to each other, basically, in the same hole. I have another one here that is right from the same area. It's a new species. It has no toes exposed. They're internal. This is the fabric of life. This is not a shoe. This is the guy's foot. And we have a lot of these. I have another one. Kim has another find. Kim, oh man, I'm telling you, we got so many of these things. Tish Egerton has the no toes, and Kim has a head from another creature, which is called a naga. I'm not kidding you. It's just phenomenal once the gate was open. Because everybody's got the stuff. Nobody's ever wanted to look at it. No, they've been refused for years, and I am too. I've had my stuff CAT scanned, DNA certified 5 years ago. And still nobody will talk to me. Yale refuses to discuss anything. They won't return phone calls. They won't return emails. It's very discouraging that they're the ones that claim to know what they're talking about. Now, let's take a look at this. I'm just going to play it and, of course, cut in here and there. Here we go.
There was a period of 20 years where various institutions largely in the East, but Yale, Harvard, the Carnegie Museum, the American
Usual suspects.
Museum, those paleontologists were keenly interested
Wait to hear this. Wait to hear these things.
in the large, very well preserved fossils that they could find here.
The fossils were discovered in 2 lone hills. One became known as Carnegie Hill.
All right, you want to see Carnegie Hill? I'll show you Carnegie Hill. Oh, I got Carnegie Hill right here. There's Carnegie Hill right there. All right. It's nothing but muscle. That is muscle. This is the blood layer. These are the striations of the muscle. These are the muscle bundles. This is not hard to see. I can't believe this has gone this long, totally just for missed. Absolutely phenomenal. And not missed, denied. Let's go to the reality of the situation. Nothing this is not missed. This is just, they won't respond. That's the key. And that is distressing, my friends. To me it is. I don't know, maybe you can live under those circumstances. I don't like it. All right, here goes.
And the other, University Hill. Erwin Barbour, head of the University of Nebraska Paleontology Department, spent several summers excavating that site.
Most of the fossil excavations here by major institutions were over by 1923.
The hills contained unusual-looking animals that roamed the Great Plains 18 to 23 million years ago. The sloth-footed Chelicotherium meropus, the small antelope-like Stenomylus camel, the North American rhinoceros called Monoceros, the paleocaster, a beaver that dug corkscrew burrows.
A beaver that dug corkscrew burrows. All right. Now, you know my contention is giant creatures. That is a sweat gland. All right. Once again, don't forget these I'm saying are sweat glands. Now, this is how they were finding them. These they're calling its root, and this is the corkscrews. A fragment of a corkscrew with its root. This is the hair. That's the sweat gland. These are the sweat glands in the skin. Doesn't get any more obvious than that. These are the sweat glands that they say are beaver things or whatever. And there's the root. And then they come off. There's the red and the black come off at the bottom, which is the artery and the vein. Because these everything is supplied with a blood. See the red and the blue in your body. It's blue because it's the expended blood. When it hits the air, it turns black. The red stays red usually. So there it is right there. There's the hair and there's the sweat gland. Okay, and my friends, I'm going to tell you right now, that is kaolin clay, which is skin clay. These are hairs. There's the black and there's the red of the blood colors. These are the layering of the hairs. And the hairs get enormous, and they have moles just like we do today. So it's time to look at this stuff for what it is. You could test this. This could be tested. I could see blood. I could see everything. I know what this is. I've been studying this very well, and I understand when they become so structural as this, and I know what I'm looking at, and that is hairs, and that is a mole. All right, this is Tyson, my very good friend. Tyson's Mudfossil Adventures. You come up here, you'll never be the same again. I mean, this is just absolutely amazing.
Place called Beverly Beach.
He's got tendon balls that are the size of basketballs all over the place. And he's got actual, right here, look. This is the same as the membranes that are in your guts. And
No, this ain't lava.
these
This
holes
ain't even
right
the same material as lava. This is more sandstone.
You see this here? That's the entryway through your membrane where little bits and pieces go in. I'm not kidding you. This is what he has. It's time to start a whole new idea of what we're looking at. And mainstream is not going to come around. You're going to have to push them. I've been pushing hard, and they're hard to push. So anyway, I suppose that's it for today.